You are listening to the BS Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, here's Brian and Steven with the BS.
All right. Yeah, episode 3, BS Podcast. Today it's just going to be the S Podcast. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing, bad thing, or a neutral thing. I guess it's going to be on our listeners to decide. The B, which stands for Brian, which also stands for best friend, is not available today. Why? Because he's probably spending time with his family, like a good man does. Maybe you ask why I'm not spending time with my family. Well, I'll tell you why. I work Sundays. Sundays is when I work. It's part of my work agreement that provides me money so that I can buy things like a microphone to record my beautiful voice, to share it with absolutely no one, because there ain't nobody listening to this podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, let me know, because I'm surprised. First of all, how did you even find it? I mean, you got to be digging deep into the crates of podcasts. There, we're reaching the point pretty soon where there's going to be more podcasts than people in the world. Because you got people hogging up all the podcasts. You got, you know, people that have 3 podcasts. How do you have 3 podcasts when you only have one voice? God only gave you one mouth. But these, certain individuals just kind of are the 1%ers of the podcast community. So if you're listening to this, let me know. And when you do let me know, I probably won't know what the heck you're talking about. And that's okay. New merch. Check out my merch, www.tpublic.com/user/NovaPup. Get the new Supernova shirt. Get the new San Diego Padres shirt. Wakanda Forever shirt. Unlicensed shirts. tpublic.com. They got them. Right? That's the real American way. Old school American is unlicensed. Why? What do you mean I got to get a license? We can get a license to take this land. So the new republic is tpublic.com/user/NovaPup. Maybe I'll even put in a BS podcast shirt. How about that? All right. First 10 listeners ever. If we ever get 10 listeners, I'm going to put up a BS podcast shirt. How about that? I already have it ready to go. It's really very little work on my part. I'll let you in on that, a little behind the scenes. For listeners that go back to episode 3. Episode 1 was the pilot episode. And you may ask, why is it called the pilot episode? Were you talking about like airplane pilots? No, that's not why it's called the pilot episode. Oh, maybe because it's the first episode of your podcast. No, it's because we recorded it while we were driving in my Honda Pilot. So first episode, Honda Pilot. Episode 2 was the iScreen episode, and self-explanatory. I call it the ice cream episode because when I listen to it, it gives me this tummy ache, makes my stomach rumble. It kind of makes me have to release some gas. And this is going to be episode 3. What's the title of it? I don't know. As I'm recording this, I don't know. You know, because you selected to listen to it, and it probably has the title somewhere around the front top of where you select things like these. If I know my technology right, which maybe I do, maybe I don't. And that's okay with me. You could reach me at Linktree/Stephen J. Graham. That's just a random name they gave me for my Linktree website. www.linkter.ee. It's a tricky one. Linktree, huh? Linkter. Nope. Stop right there. Linkter.ee. Linkter.ee. You can reach me at linkter.ee/Stephen J. Graham. What's the J stand for? I don't know. Linkter.ee just assigned it to me. So now I got to go back and come up with something that maybe it could represent. So probably like maybe a name. I'll think of something. Put your comments below of what you think the J stands for. Be nice about it too. Don't, it's hard to find bad words and naughty words that start with J, but I think that the internet comment community, out of any community that I could think of, is probably the ones that are capable of doing it. So let's keep it civil and let's keep it clean for all the ladies and gentlemen that are keeping it on the straight and narrow. On the straight and narrow. Got some dates to plug. Tonight you can find me at Sky Zone. Wednesday I'll be at the Bullpen Prime Rib. Can't beat it, man. Cook it your way, made to order. Side of potato and just a hunk of broccoli. I mean, they just pull that thing out of the ground and kind of wipe it off a little bit on the side of their apron, slap it down on your plate, and it is really good. In case you never heard me talk about food, I like it. Like food. And you know what? I went to the doctor. Okay? Because when you like food like I do, maybe you should go to the doctor. Just kind of have a conversation with them and just say, hey, just so you know, I like food. Is this going to be a problem? Not is it going to be a problem, but to what degree is this going to be a problem, doctor? Let's come up with a strategy to which I can continue to enjoy food. And doctor says, true story. All right. I may sound like a very fit guy, got it all together, at least in the voice area of life and talking, right? That's what you think. You picture me, lean, mean, talking machine. But yeah, the truth is a little heavy, a little soggy around the waistline, right? Got a body that's built for eating some food and sitting at my computer desk working. But anyways, went to the doctor and the doctor said, now if you're thinking no more monkeys jumping in the bed, you got kids. Welcome to all the moms and dads. Welcome to all the kids. Kids, I would like you to go play outside. This podcast probably isn't for you, especially when we've got Brian. He's a potty mouth and a half. So, kids, time to go get your Yu-Gi-Ohs, Legos, scooters, bikes, baseballs, and go enjoy the sunshine. Moms and dads, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for your service. If I could buy you a drink, I would. Go out and buy yourself a drink on me. Don't put it in your budget. Just kind of keep it to the side. This comes out of the reserve funds. I know. I know you don't have any savings account. Oh, you mean that thing that covers my bounce checks? Pays the rest of the check is, in addition to a little $35 fee so that I can, keep my Netflix going. Shout out to Netflix, stand-up comedy special. I don't have one, but I watch them sometimes. Not too much. I don't watch a lot of them, but I would like to give them a shout out because they really are laxed about sharing username and passwords, for all these years. So they've been the unsung heroes, I think, when you think back. Nobody gives them credit, right? Kind of like dads. They're doing all the work over here. They don't get any credit. What you get prime rib Wednesday night, starting at 4 o'clock. Get there early. They run out. Bullpen, Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Find me there. What was I talking about? Let's see. We kick the kids outside. Eating a prime rib. Talk about Brian, the doctor, right? So I'm over there at the doctor, and the quote for did all my blood work, lipids, triglycerols, quadglycerols, pentuplet glycerols, all of them. She says, looking over at your numbers, surprisingly not that bad. Surprisingly not that bad. So that's probably the best report I've ever gotten from a doctor. So I hung that one up on the wall. Put I say, hey, can you put that in your notes? I'm gonna print that one out. Show the old wife. The old wife. See what the doctor said? Boom. 8 years of medical school. Surprisingly not that bad. I had some anemia issues. So she says, do you happen to have any blood coming out in your stool? Now, for those of you that don't know, stool is poop. I guess they call it that because you sit on it. Like when you're sitting on the toilet, you're kind of on it and it's under you like a stool. And it's brown. Stools are usually wood, so they're brown. But anyways, you know that's a good amount of toilet humor for one podcast. I'll get some listeners with that one. Getting the Ren and Stimpy listeners. You guys watching Ren and Stimpy when your mom told you not to. I got a couple of them listeners, just based off of that stool joke. So check that one off the bucket list. Says, so by any chance do you have, blood in your stool? It's like, blood in my stool? You know, I came for a physical, did all the blood work. She asked me a few questions. I tell her this, I tell her that. I've kind of been going to the gym a little bit, just to get a few people off my back, get the wife off my back, get the doctor off my back. The nurse asked, do you work out? Yeah, 5 days a week. I didn't tell her it was like for the last, 2 weeks. But, do you work out? Yep, 5 days a week. Boom. That's all you got to do. Just do it. You already know when your appointment is. They don't subpoena you to your appointments. You set up an appointment. You help choose along with the scheduler, what day works for you. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a different date. You can get a different date, than what you said. All right, cool. See you then. So then you just work out starting that week. And when they ask you how many days you work out, you'd be like, hey, every day. So far today, I'm working out every day today. And then she has to write it. HIPAA law. So, if there was blood in the stools, don't you think I would have told you by now? You know, we already talked about the temperature of the room, the weather, right? Oh, hey, by the way, you pooping out blood? No, because if I was, that would be the reason I wouldn't even let you draw blood for me to test it. I would just tell them yeah, I can't give you any more blood because it's all going down the toilet. I'm not comfortable giving you any extra because of how much I give in this to the sewers. So no, I ain't got no blood in my poop. Um, I mean, I'm not, doing a full exam. I got a buddy that says you should always look at your poop. He's a smart guy. Love him. You know, okay, Jay, you got it, buddy. But can't say that I do. But the toilet paper is white. I don't know what kind of you know paper you guys got wherever you're listening to this. I imagine if and when somebody's listening to it, it's probably not going to be in the United States. Because we got a lot of other stuff to listen to. You could listen to Marvel Comics podcast starring Paul Rudd, you know, and Anthony Anderson. Why are you going to listen to the BS podcast with no B, all S? Out of the two BNS, Brian and Steven, if you were to take a poll, I think people would rather listen to Brian. I would, but I'm a little biased. I walked into a job interview, and this girl hooked me up with a job interview. And I went in, said hi to her, give her a hug. And this big, hunky, burly man, he was a lumberjack, I think. All right, never wore socks. Never found socks that fit him. And he wore slippers, like either Birkenstocks or flip flops, chanclas for our Latino community, maybe pantuflas on certain days, pajama day, which we had. And he turns around and says, "Hey, where's my hug?" And just then my heart grew 3 sizes that day. Man, what a kind human. Hugged that man, and we've been hugging ever since. Hugging our words, hugging our thoughts, hugging our activities, and hugging the hugs too. Also, hugged some hugs. And that's Brian. So that's who you guys are listening to. Um, you know, our listenership. So yeah, no blood in the poop. Happy to report. I'll keep you guys updated in later episodes. Just poop, and the paper I get is white, so you can see everything. It's a test right there. You check and see if you're done yet, and you can see any color that wants to show up except white. If you have some white on there, you would probably wouldn't notice. If you had a little bit of like whatever bird poops make them white. I think it's like a little bit of chalk in the street because that's where they eat their food from. I think that's what makes a bird poop white. But that you probably wouldn't notice. But everything else, yeah, you're gonna see it right there. You know, ketchup and mustard. You'd be pretty clear. So she says, okay, well, you know, later on they say, well, maybe it's did you donate blood? Yeah, I donated blood about 3 weeks before. I like to donate blood because it doesn't cost me anything. You know, do you give to charity? Yep. I reach in deep in my pockets, keep my cash in hand, say, hey, how about a little bit of this blood? I'll do, you want some of that? And they're like, yep. I was like, oh, really? All right, you can have some. They're like, you want to do a tall or just a pint? So you know what? You could do a tall, you could do a double. So they take double. So maybe that's what it was. But yeah, as you said, you're kind of anemic. So So the doctor didn't say it, but to me, anemic and anemia, which is an iron deficiency, to me says, hey, bruh, you got to go eat some steaks, maybe some red wine. Again, I'm just kind of using my armchair degree, which never finished my armchair schooling, to be an armchair doctor. I did play armchair quarterback, Monday morning quarterback. I did play that for a while. Retired there too. Um, but yeah, no, I didn't finish. So, but yeah, my doctor, my internal doctor, which is like, he sits on my shoulder and kind of, he's like Dr. Jiminy Cricket. The other one's just Jiminy Cricket. This one, he has the same name, but you have to call him doctor because he earned it. He said, hey man, red meat, wine, let's have a good time. So prime rib, because if you're gonna eat any ribs, you want the prime rib, you know, prime time ribs. So I'll be there Wednesday night, early dinner. Those are where you can find me, online, slack.com, and reach out and ask me a question. So I do this thing now where I talk to myself a lot. It's kind of new, kind of not, but yeah, I kind of talk to myself while I'm doing things around the house and out in the backyard, and just been talking. I so I kind of like been, you know, blocking all the negativity, outside negativity from coming in, because I'm just constantly like spraying outwards, just nonsensical stuff. It's like you got your iPod on random. Is part of it's like singing songs, some of it saying funny things, laughing to myself, talking to the dog, Nova Pup, tpublic.com/user/Nova Pup if you want a cool shirt with a dog on it with a cape. Talking to the dog, talking to myself, blocking out all the negativity that's out in the air, the pollution, negativity pollution. I got this blocker on, which is me just not giving them a chance to get a word in. It's been pretty good. Been pretty good. Talking to people a lot. Talking to my wife a lot. Yesterday I asked her if she wanted to do a podcast. I wish I had a secret recorder. I should ask because I know Siri's always recording and I know they're sending it over. TikTok's send it over to China. I should ask if I can get that recording. Sometimes my wife has difficulty making a decision and being decisive. Where you want to go to eat. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Next thing you know, you already skipped a meal. You're on to the next meal. It took so long. That's where fasting came from. And but this one, man, it was right away. Boom, on the spot. Nope. Hey, you want to do? You want to do a podcast together? Nope. Boom. So yeah, so she's becoming more of a decisive person. That's good to see. It's good for her. She don't talk to herself a lot like I do, but maybe she'll kind of see what I got going on and kind of pick up on that. Probably, I think so. It's pretty good. Pretty good to me, anyways. Start talking to people. I think what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start taking these podcast interview questions, and I'm just gonna start asking people when I'm like in the line at the grocery store. Yeah, yeah. Last night I went to the grocery store. I had to pick up something, and there was like 3 school buses outside of the Albertsons, and just like, you know, high school kids dressed up kind of nice, and some of them are going into Albertsons, and some of them are hanging out in the parking lot. I don't know what it is, but it looked like they were taking a field trip to Albertsons. That's just what it looked like. So I'm in line. There's a few, few in front of me, and then there's this older guy, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, when you were in high school, did your school take a field trip to Albertsons? Do you remember your Albertsons field trip, senior class trip to Albertsons?" And then I thought it was funny myself, and that's really my target audience is myself. So, boom, nailed that one. And he goes, "Nope, but senior year we went to the beach in Michigan in the springtime, about 2000 senior class, and we got wasted." And he proceeded to tell me about, underage drinking in Michigan in the probably the 70s, maybe the 60s, and we just reminisced on that. I mean, he had a bottle of Jim Beam there, so he was on brand. I don't, I think it was confirmed that what he was telling me was the truth, because he was supporting the alcohol industry still to this day. So his story checks out to as far as I was willing to check it out. So that was fun. So I was thinking, yeah, I might take some of these interview questions, like some of these questions that Sean Evans comes up with, or you know, Joe Rogan, ask or whatever, and I'm gonna start asking people. I'm gonna be like, hey, uh, do you remember the first time you fell in love? What was that like? Let's see what I can get out of that. Hey, what's your biggest regret out of life? We might get into some darkness. I might be biting off more than I could chew. We'll see. But hey, man, a lot of people say that talking is good for your soul. Therapy is all the rage. That's just talking. Does it matter if the person on the other end is certified? Probably. But hey, it's talking, confession. You know, it's good to get it out. It's good for your soul just to say it. You know. So yeah, I'm gonna, give some people the opportunity. Maybe we'll do some guests on this show. Put it in the comments below who you would like us to have a guest. Maybe it's Patches. Put that in the comments if that's who you would like to see. Probably not. I don't think anybody will probably put that one. You know, we'll have to put a disclaimer on that one. And I think we're trying to keep this podcast disclaimer free. I think we got just below the threshold of potty humor where, I don't gotta report, send a transcript and report it to the authorities that I'm publishing it. I think I snuck by on that. I'm gonna go ahead and post. Maybe maybe you want Carl on. Maybe you want Carl, an episode with Carl. You know, imagine the stories he can come up with. Whew. I mean, you never know. You never know. Uh, I mean, we mentioned Paul Rudd. We could probably reach out to him. Maybe he's on Cameo. Maybe we could use Cameo to just ask ask some interview questions. Today we interview. It'll be like um, the Island Boys. You know, and then we'll just ask them like, "Hey, man, you know, what's your philosophy on like treating others with respect? And also, have you ever pooped your pants? Oh man, that's another poop reference, man. This is turning into quite the poop episode, quite frankly. It's just because, we're kind of finding out what happens when I don't got my buddy here with me. When I'm unsupervised, it's not good. Never has been, never will be. But yeah, the Island Boys, are on there. Pauly Shore, maybe. Brandon Fraser. Let us know in the comments below. We read every comment. Haven't missed one yet. So www.linktr.ee/Stephen J. Graham is where you can find me. tpublic.com/user/Nova Pup. Big up to the T Republic. And I think that's about it for the solo episode. Hopefully we'll be recording again soon. Hopefully we'll get our guy back again soon. Get better, Brian. We want you to get better. Get better at finding time to record podcasts is what we mean by that. And hey, guys, just keep on keeping on. Talk to each other, shake hands, and hug. And you know, let's spread the love out there in the world. I love you. Thank you for listening. Talk to you next time. Bye. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.